Watch this, okay? Hello, this is Indian Prince Satish. You have just won a lottery for $5 million. Dollars, not rupees. Okay, you want to claim this money? To claim this money, you have to pay today only $500, okay? And you have to pay me using a Best Buy gift card. Is that okay? Okay, let's go ahead and go to. This is the kind of stuff that gives cold calling a bad name, okay? In fact, cold calling is one of the best ways to get new customers, get new sales. Okay, now why is cold calling so effective? Now, if you're watching an ad on TV or Facebook or Instagram or Google, don't get me wrong, those ads do work, okay? But none of those ads are grabbing you by your throat and telling you, hey, this is what you need to do, okay? None of those ads are interacting with you. Now, on a cold call, I can ask the right question on the right tone in order to get people to book a meeting, okay? I can even get people to make them get their credit card out and pay me, okay? That's the beauty of a cold call. So, welcome to the masterclass on cold calling. So, in this masterclass, you will learn step 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? 4 steps on how to make a successful cold call. So, step number 1, we will learn about what you should be doing before the call, okay? Step number 2, you will learn about what to do during the first 10 seconds of your call, okay? How to talk to a receptionist, how to talk to your prospect, okay? And step number 3 is a call to action, getting people to do something that you want, okay? And last but not least is step number 4 is follow up, okay? And you will learn everything that you need to know. So let's start. Now, step number 1 is pre-call, meaning these are things that you need to be doing prior to making your cold call. So 3 things, okay? So number 1 is have a basic script. So, I don't care how good of a cold caller you are, even if you are the top cold caller, you need to have some sort of outline, okay, that you're going to be talking in, okay? If you're brand new, write out your script, okay? There are places where you can get these script or you can create one, okay? And then the thing is you have to experiment with different script to know which actually works for you. So number 1 is make sure you have some sort of outline or script in front of you whenever you're making that cold call, okay? That's number 1, okay? Number 2 is the fact that cold calling is a numbers game, meaning that the more cold calls that you make, the better you get, the better conversion rate that you get. What does that mean? That means that if you're making, like, let's say, 5 cold calls a day, or like, oh, I didn't get a sale, up it, okay? What I do in my business is once I have a product that needs, cold calling as a marketing channel. Remember, cold calling should be one of the marketing channels that you deploy in order to get that sale. It should not be the only one, okay? So once I've figured out that I do need to deploy cold calling as one of the tactics, marketing channels, I write a script. I do at least 100 calls myself as a founder, okay? And once I've made those calls, I make notes, okay? I have made the script perfect, okay? Now, I give that script to people through Upwork or freelancer.com and then get like bunch of people to make those phone calls in a day. In a normal day, we're making about 500 to 600 cold calls in any given day. That's amazing. Now, number 3 is warm it up. Now, what does that mean? So the word cold call has the word cold on it, right? But it does not have to be cold. So what is a cold call? So a cold call is, someone is not expecting this call. So that's why there's that resistance. You're like, hello, I'm calling to sell this, blah, 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 right? They're like, oh, I don't want to buy this today. So that's the resistance that there is on a cold call. Now, in this age, in this time, it does not have to be cold anymore. Back in the day, yes, when there was no social media, LinkedIn, emails, things like that, yes, it had to be cold. You were cold on the, you were cold, meaning, you did not have a prior interaction with that person. These days, it does not have to be that. My final, pre-call checklist is warm up your prospecting list, meaning, let's say you have, 100 people on your prospecting list, right? So text them, okay? Text them, saying, hey, to all of them, mass text, saying, hey, Bob, this is Satish calling from Dallas, blah, blah, this is texting from Dallas. I work with this, blah, blah, blah. Give them a link, okay? So next time You call them, Bob is like, yeah, I got that text, okay? And he will either tell you that, hey, I don't like it. And he will tell you why he didn't like it. And then you can tell him, hey, why didn't you like it? Okay, oh, okay, it's like this, XYZ. So you see that, right? If they like it, they'll ask you questions to find out more information. So either way, it's good for you, right? You'll either learn why people are not, reacting to your offer, or you'll find out, hey, people do react to your offer in certain way, and then I need to modify my offer this way. Does that make sense? So send out a mass text, okay? Or what you can also do is, most of you guys might be selling a high ticket item on a phone call. So if you're doing that, hey, use social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, okay? Follow them, okay? And then write a comment saying blah, 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 whatever post they're making, right? That way they see that, hey, this is a real person, Satish, okay? He's commented, okay? And then a week later, they get a call saying, hey, this is Satish. Remember I commented on your Twitter. See, you have something to talk about, right? You're not making a cold call anymore. You're making a kind of a warm call. Yes, still a cold call, but you have warmed it up. So pre-call checklist. So number one is have a script, some sort of script, right? Number two is, cold calling is a numbers game. So make sure you're making a lot of it, and then know that, nobody can reach out of phone call and, punch you. Nobody can hurt you. The worst thing people can do is say no, and the worst thing people can do is reject your offer. So they can say no and they can reject your offer. You have nothing to lose, okay? You can make a phone call back to that same person who said no a month later and get him to buy your product. That's the beauty of cold call, okay? You can do it from anywhere. No one should be, there should be no excuse on, why you can't make a cold call, okay? And number three is make sure to warm up your prospect list before you make your first cold call. Step number two is you have to actually pick up your phone call and make that phone call. Now, you might be like daunted. You're like, I can't make that call. You just have to do it, okay? Don't think too much. Just make that phone call, and first call, you will mumble, you will hang up. That's okay, okay? You just have to get cocky enough to make that phone call and say, hey, yes, this is what's happening, and I'm controlling that phone call. So make sure, okay, whenever you make that phone call, you are confident, okay? What works for me is that I'm just cocky on a phone call. I'll tell you how it's gonna work, okay? Because here's the thing, okay? A lot of your customers, okay, a lot of the people that you call, they will, because you're making a phone call trying to sell them something, right? They will want to drag you down to, like, their feet and tell you, oh, this is how it is. No, that's not happening, because I told you, right? You have to be cocky. You have to tell them, hey, you're losing a lot of money, okay? This is what's right, and you are wrong, okay? Because you want to have that authority, that confidence before you make that phone call, because you don't want people to think, hey, this guy's a chicken on a phone call. So make sure you're cocky and confident, okay? So now, during the phone call, so let's say you get your phone out, you start making your phone call, ting, 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 right? On a phone call, right? Now, you will whenever you're making a cold call, you'll either end up with a gatekeeper or you end up with your prospect. So when you end up with your prospect, it's you've crossed a bridge, right? Now, if you get a gatekeeper, for example, let's say you call a dentist, right? You call a doctor or a lawyer. They're like, oh, hello, this is blah, 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 blah. How can I help you? You're like, okay, can I speak to Dr. Williams? Okay, when they pick up the phone call, you're gonna say, can I speak to Dr. William? Can I speak to Mr. X? You're not going to explain who you are, okay? Gatekeepers don't need to know who you are, what you do, what you're selling, okay? It is none of their business. Yes, it is their business, but you don't want them to be like, this guy's selling something. Okay, let me just say, we're not interested. Well, of course he's not interested, because, he's getting paid hourly, right? The interested person is going to be the business owner, the prospect, okay? So you have to get over this bridge. So they'll tell you, hey, who is this, right? You're going to be like, is Dr. William not there today? Is he on a lunch? See, you did not answer her question, okay? Sometimes they'll tell you, hey, I just need to know who you are. They might be strict. You'll tell them, hey, listen. Just say, hey, listen, I have already had a conversation with Dr. William. Can you please pass the call? If he's not there, I'll call later. When should I call back? So when you say it confidently enough, they will pass the phone. Trust me, okay? So please, whenever you make a phone call and a gatekeeper picks it up, please don't tell them what you're selling, what your name is. You don't need to tell us stuff. Is it Dr. Williams? If no, hey, can you pass the phone to Dr. William, please? They're like, oh, who is this? Blah, blah, blah. They'll tell you, is he not there? Is he on lunch? Can I call? When should I call back? That's how you talk to gatekeepers, okay? Got it. So that's the beauty. So now once they pass the phone, or sometimes you're calling directly to your prospect, right? And you can do that through, tools like, there's so many tools, and I don't want to name any, but there are so many tools out there. I don't want to name any because that tool might not exist in like a year or two, and I'm making this video for like a long time. So there are tools out there, like I'll give you an example, so like a people looker, right? There is, there's so many. There are these tools that will let you type up person's first name, last name, and where they live, and it'll give you their personal cell number. So guess what? Make that phone call on their cell, okay? Don't make a phone call in their office. So next step is, let's say, either the gatekeeper passes the phone over to the prospect, or the prospect picks it up, right? So the goal with the gatekeeper is to get him or her to pass the phone to the prospect. Now, the goal with the prospect is to get them to respond back to your questions. So you're gonna say, hey, Dr. William, or you can say, hey, this is William, right? Sometimes it's best not to use Mr., Sir. Don't do that, okay? So say, hey, William, this is Satish. I'll keep it short, okay? I help dentists just like you in Frisco, Texas, XYZ. This is what I help with, okay? Are you guys implementing social media on your marketing right now? Okay, this is a loaded question. I did not ask him, and people are like, should you be talking about their day, blah, 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 things like that. You can, but I would not do that at this point, okay? You can do that later. Now, when is later? So let's say once you ask this question, you ask more questions, right? And then middle somewhere, you can go ahead and build that report, okay? What you can do is, hey, it's, hey, hold on for 10 seconds, okay? My dog is barking, or my baby's crying. I don't have a baby, I don't have kids, but I say that to make it look like I'm a human being. I might be a dad, 5 years from today, or maybe much more earlier. But when I tell them that I'm a dad, I have a baby, they are much more likelier to say yes to me. Think about it for a second, okay? If you're like, guy who, if you make it seem like you're a teenager who has no idea where your car keys are, you act like, you don't show that you are a matured person, they might not be willing to speak with you. So for that reason, make sure to show that in the middle, okay? So with the prospect, make sure you ask questions, okay? So once they say yes, okay, hey, do you guys even have a social media or no, okay? And then they'll tell you this. Just get them to say yes, no. The point is right here is to get them to, talk back to you. That's it, okay? There's no other goal, okay? Now, once you've achieved this, you can move to the next step. Okay, so step number 3 is call to action. Now, during a phone call, during a cold call, most of the time, your call to action is going to be booking a meeting, because here's why, okay? You just made a cold call, right? This person, this doctor, this realtor, this whoever you're selling to, they're not on that mood to buy right now. So what you need to do is you need to set up a specific time for you guys to talk on a Zoom call or meet up, where all you'll do is pitch, okay? You'll pitch them about the offer that you're making, whatever you're selling. So that's what you'll do. So make sure that, you use cold calling as a leverage to book a meeting, okay? Set up a Zoom call. That's what I recommend. So now, how do you get to this point? So what you do is you say, hey, so this is what we have been doing for, your competitors or these doctors, people, or real. You tell them about the results, okay? You don't tell them about the techniques too much, because if you tell them everything, there's no reason for them to get on a phone call down the road, the sales call, right? The Zoom call for the sales, okay? So for that reason, keep it simple. Don't tell them everything that you do. Intrigue them. tell them about the results, okay? And at the end, tell them, okay, I would love to talk more about this on a demo call where I'm demoing the software or results, things like that, or just say, hey, on a quick call. Don't try to use the word sales too much, because whenever people hear the word sales, they're like, I don't want any sales. That's how people are. So try to get them to say, hey, this is the results, this is what other people have been doing, getting results by working with me. I want to go and show you how we do it, okay? And tell them, okay, at the end is tomorrow. Give them a time, okay? Don't tell them when is the good time. Okay, no, you got to tell them. Remember I said earlier, you have to demand these things. You have to say, is tomorrow 5 p.m. good? Is Thursday? Don't make it too far out. Okay, for example, a lot of people do next week. No, do it this week, okay? Make sure that time between the cold call and the actual meeting, it's not more than 3 days, okay? Please do that, okay? Because if you make it too long, they will find reasons to avoid your call, okay? Now, at the end of the call, you're gonna tell them, okay, ask them, okay, is there any reason you might not be able to make to this call? You ask them a loaded question. They're like, okay, unless I have a surgery, I will be there. Perfect, okay? And tell them, okay, you don't want to miss this call, okay? You don't have to buy what I'm selling. You'll get so much information out of this call, so please attend. Bring your partners if you want to, okay? And then get their email, phone number, okay? And guess what? Book that meeting. Now, step number 4 is kind of easy. Step number 4 is follow up, okay? Remember, you're dealing with humans, okay? They will forget, they will find reasons not to, even if they need that product or service, they will find reasons not to speak with you. So what you need to do is follow up with them. So how do you follow up with these people, okay? Make sure to send them an invite on Google Calendar. Make sure to send them an invite on iCloud, whatever they use, okay? Make sure to send them a text reminder, 3 days ahead, okay? Make sure to send them an hourly reminder. Make sure to remind them in the morning before, like if the call is at 5 p.m., remind them. Make sure to entice them, okay? Those couple of days that before the actual sales call, you have this opportunity because you can entice them. You can show them results. What you can do is prime them. So what I like to do is I like to send them testimonials, video testimonials of my clients, okay? So that way, they're already like, in that mindset, okay? I'm already seen, clients of Satish who have, had success with him. So send them brochures, send them information that they can, that will get them to think, oh, okay, that's amazing, okay? And they will have more questions. The idea is on a sales call, I have different video on YouTube that you can watch where I teach you about how to do a sales call. But the idea of a sales call is to take them through a process, pain points, and lead them to actually making that purchase. So you can do that. So make sure to follow up with them a couple times, okay? And no, it's not annoying. You should do it. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass on cold calling. Now, on the comments below, tell me if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I talked about. Please let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to me, because when I wake up in the morning and when I see more subscriber, that just makes me super, super happy. And it encourages me to create more content just for you guys. So thank you for watching. Make sure to follow me here subscribe to me here on YouTube. And you can also follow me on Instagram as well. I'll see you on the next video. Click on my name and see more videos right now. Go ahead.